Welcome back to ScreenFish Radio, and I am very excited because this is my favorite podcast of the year. We are here, and not just because of the show, but because we have incredible guests. And I'm so excited for the first time to have the guys, two of the members from GeekCentric, Justin Lawrence and Nate Shelton. Welcome, guys. I'm glad to have you.
Hello,
Thank you.
hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm really excited about today because to have you both here. This is our first podcast of the year, and our first episode, we like to do our top moments of the year, but not top films.
Mhm.
Because I think a lot of the things is everybody likes to talk about their top films of the year, and that's great. We have some of our own people that do that as well. But in this particular episode, I always love to deal with the moments that matter to us. And I think that's a really exciting way for us to do it. Now, if you are listening for the first time, a reminder, this podcast is rated S for spoilers. So there may be some moments that come up that you're like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? But just so you're aware, I give our team fair, just, the gloves are off.
Okay, perfect.
I'm ready. I'm ready to spoil things for people. So let's get to that.
I've made sure to curate my moments in like ways that some of them are spoilers, some of them are a little less spoiler, so we can see where the conversation takes us. But
I'm very concerned that I'm going to spoil things for Nate, to be completely honest.
I might
So,
at some point go headphones off. We'll see. We'll see.
if we just see him take his headphones off and just wheel
Yeah,
off, then we'll know.
it's
We'll
fine.
know.
I'm going to start with who the murderer is in Wake Up Dead Man. I think that's the way.
Thankfully, I think we've all seen that one. So
Right. Well, let's get before we get into our top three, gentlemen. Before we do that, I'd love to hear any honorable mentions that you have. Some that didn't quite make your top three. What have you got, Justin? Let's start with you.
Well, I put down one honorable mention, because I liked your format, Steve. I like this idea of, picking moments. So when I was thinking back, I chose a moment from Fantastic Four,
Mhm.
the arrival of Galactus, and more importantly, actually, our introduction to Galactus. Seeing Galactus fully realized on an IMAX screen was iconic. Like, he towers over you in this massive frame, and in a way that just finally sells the scale of that character accurately. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially after what we got in the previous iterations of Fantastic Four with Galactus being smoke. Like, it was just it's so
A
this
big
was
cloud?
yeah, it was just a big cloud, right?
Clouds
So
are
it's like
scary. Clouds are scary. I don't know what you're talking about.
I understand that. So you take that, but then you also like it wasn't just the visuals. It was the combination of the scale, the IMAX sound, Ralph Ineson's voice,
Oh,
that deep, commanding presence. It just filled the theater. So IMAX really did the heavy lifting in this particular aspect, especially from the sound design, the rumbles, the way that his voice and his picture just dominate on the screen. It made Galactus feel mythic and a true cosmic force to be reckoned with. So I absolutely like that moment. To me, when we were introduced to him, was just an absolute banger of a moment.
yeah, his voice, like we were lucky enough to get to actually
Mhm.
talk to Ralph himself, and I just told him, I was like, we hadn't heard him at that point by the time I talked to him, and I was like, I can't wait for your voice to just rumble my cheeks in the theater. And all my cheeks, all four cheeks
But
were rumbling, I'll tell you
and
that
he
much.
proceeded to rumble his cheeks on
In the
screen for Ralph, which made
Yeah,
him laugh, which
I think
was
he
awesome.
appreciated it.
Sure, he loved the rumbles. So yeah.
Yeah, no, Galactus, the arrival of Galactus, you're absolutely right, Justin, was such a phenomenal moment in that movie. And I think for fans to be able to see him realized on screen, we got that preview of that, there was leaked images, there was all sorts of stuff of him looking through a window. I'm so happy with the way they decided to actually go with it
Mhm.
in the movie, the way that they did, and to just see him as this massive figure and to see him in scale. Yeah, he's a devourer of worlds for a reason, and yeah, he was awesome.
And that would
Uh,
just sorry.
No, go ahead. Go
And
ahead.
yeah, that visual would just continue to kind of dominate every time he was on screen. It was crazy how his introduction would then just become sort of like the visual language for how we saw Galactus through the rest of the movie, because any of his scenes were just full IMAX, right? Like it was just he was dominating the screen. So I like that they set that precedence and then continued it through for the rest of the movie while he was involved in aspects of the story.
It was on Galactus's rider, actually. I think that he said, like, I must be in IMAX if I'm going to be on screen. I think he made sure.
It was on Galactus's rider. It wasn't.
Yes,
yeah,
specifically.
okay.
No, Ralph. No. Galactus.
No.
He came in. He's a diva. He's a huge diva.
I see it for sure.
I
Yeah.
actually thought Fantastic Four was one of those movies that was underrated. Like, I mean, I think the MCU is in a unique place right now,
Yeah.
but that one is just so gorgeous from start to finish.
Hmm.
And yeah, the arrival of Galactus just sort of set the character right
Hmm.
from where it existed before. So yeah, no, I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Nate, what about you? Honorable mentions.
Yeah, I really do. I'm going to also commend you, Steve, on this format. I really dig it. I think, looking back at our favorite movies, we all have our favorite movies that are filled with so many wonderful moments. But talking about our favorite moments actually kind of also allows us to talk about, maybe movies that didn't actually hit inside of our top 10.
Hmm.
And so for me, I got to give an honorable mention to a movie that it didn't fully land for us collectively in our review. We gave it more mid scores, which is How to Train Your Dragon. Certainly, again, nowhere near my top 10 films. I wouldn't necessarily put it in there. But there is no denying that when Hiccup finally earns Toothless's trust by helping him heal, he puts that prosthetic tail fin on him. He climbs aboard that saddle. He takes to the skies. And the music from John Powell kicks in, and we get that classic test drive theme.
Hmm.
And whether it's 2010 or 2025, that moment, like I'm getting chills thinking about it, like re-experiencing it in my mind, seeing that in live action, seeing it in IMAX. I think IMAX might come up a few times in this podcast, but you just can't. You just like there's no way you won't get chills watching that. I think it's such a feat to achieve the same level of thrill and fist pumping energy from a scene that you've already experienced. And so I think that moment, as a fan of the original films, I think Dean Dubois was able to translate that perfectly. And I think it proves that to future adaptations and future filmmakers, that scene alone in 2025 proves that, hey, for future adaptations, the movie, I think, proves not everything needs to be replicated. We maybe could use a little more differentiation from our animated stuff.
Please.
But that scene showcases that, hey, if there is a moment that needs to pop off, make it pop off. And it popped off.
Sure.
And that was so good. So good.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think there's moments within animated films when they're translated to live action that make sense to be scene for scene. And again, not the whole movie, but just those moments seen like can feel like they were inspired exactly from the animated version that they come from. And I think that whole moment was just it was that realization of whenever you would watch the animated movie, be like, man, this would be really cool in live action. Okay, here it is, right? It's like here it is, and it actually does work.
They did it.
Yeah.
It amazes me the level of realism they brought to Toothless,
Hmm.
especially. And I know that like you can do almost anything now, but they hit the things they needed to do. And yeah, like I'm with you guys that I think if you're going to do a remake, you can't do shot for shot exactly. You've got to bring some new life to it for me to care.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to hit the certain moments, and that's a great one. And I can't believe I'm saying this too. I don't know if you guys have seen the footage of Universal Studios. Seems to be able to bring that into their theme park too, which really is that. Oh, okay. I know we're talking
Nate will
about
be able
moments,
to
but next level.
Nate will be able to tell you all about that in a couple weeks when he goes, because he's going with some of the geeks. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, looking forward to checking out the Isle of Burke for sure. I'm looking forward to trying one of those mac and cheese cones. Look forward to seeing our coverage on the mac and cheese cones from the Isle of Burke.
Yeah, I feel like that was designed by like what's the culture that the people of
Oh, the Vikings,
the
like
Viking. Yeah,
the
that
people
that
of
was
Berk.
it.
Yeah,
That was a meal designed by a Viking for a Viking.
100%.
Like, do you see how big that thing is, man? Oh my God, it's
It's
like
like
for
in a
4 feet.
giant like bread horn thing.
It's
Like, dude,
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's
I'm
like,
excited.
who needs how much? You're gonna eat that for the video and then toss the rest out. It's gonna be like Krusty the Clown. Like, all right, done.
The big chubby dragon guy. Like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna look like one of those, coming out of
just
this for
floating,
sure.
just
Just floating
floating.
along. They're just gonna have to like
Love it.
tie a string to me.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
But Steve,
Fantastic.
what is your honorable mention?
Okay, so my list this year is a little wilder in some ways than other years because I find I have more moments not from my top
Mhm.
films this year than I have in the past. Um, but I want to say two. One because I think a film doesn't get enough love, and one because I know it's going to get enough love, and it's a little higher on my list. My number five moment is from Life of Chuck.
Mhm.
That I'm calling it Let's
Oh,
Dance Little Sister. And this is a movie that that just got, and I could be wrong. I don't know if it's Variety. No, just labeled it the worst movie of 2025.
Mm.
And I don't get it.
But didn't it win TIFF last year?
Yes, in
It won TIFF,
2024.
and it was late. It was with Tom Hiddleston. I remember. I haven't seen it. I
I've
know
not
Nate
seen
has
it
it.
either.
It's okay, but we'll definitely feel free to talk
I want to hear about
freely.
it.
Okay. Well, this
Um,
isn't even a spoiler. Sorry,
okay.
Justin.
Okay.
No, no, go ahead. Yeah, I'm very interested to see what was it about this film for you that connected.
Oh, okay. Well, this first of all, the film structure is like nothing I'd ever seen before. It's
Mm,
built in three chapters and told in it, and every chapter is a unique flavor. The first chapter is sci-fi. Second chapter is almost like a musical rom-com
mhm.
Oh,
style, and the third one is a coming-of-age drama. And they're entirely different and totally connected at the same time. I fell in love with this film, and no one saw it. But in the very middle of this film, okay, I won't say too much just for you, both of you here, but
I appreciate that.
in the very middle of this film, and it's on the poster, is a like 7 minute dance sequence with Tom Hiddleston,
Mhm.
and it is the turning point and a seminal point of the entire film. This is a film that wrestles with themes of death and loss and grief, and in the middle of it is this beautiful dance number that is filled with joy. You cannot take your eyes off of it. Tom Hiddleston, although he's featured on the poster, is in this film shockingly little.
Mhm.
But it's very much about him. And this moment where he reaches out to a complete stranger, a young woman, says, "Let's dance, little sister," and proceeds to have this incredible dance number, is so life giving. It's just an incredible moment. Um, and the interesting thing is my number four movie, and we can talk about both here, but
Mhm.
my number four movie is almost the opposite end of the spectrum, and it's from Hamnet. Um,
oh,
Oh, wow, very
very different end here.
but
Uh,
both winners of TIFF.
both
One
winners of,
last year,
I
yeah,
didn't
and
even
this
draw
year,
that connection.
and this
You're
year.
right.
So yeah.
That's right.
are you picking the winners, Steve? What's
I
going on?
am. And the next film will be next year's winner of TIFF, and I will just go through. Um, no, but Hamnet, which is a film that I didn't love as much as everybody else, I admit it.
Mhm.
But did you guys see this one?
No, that's one that was on top of my list to see because we're going to probably be doing some award coverage on our podcast, so we would definitely want to make sure that we're up to speed on that. So yeah, that's definitely one of the ones that we'll probably watch sooner rather than later.
Okay, well, in
We know
that
the
case,
concept though. We know the story.
yes,
If
you know the
you
story.
agree. Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know what it was that day. I want to see it a second time because everybody
Mhm.
fell in love with it, and I was like, it's okay. But I will say the last act is incredible,
Mhm.
and it's without giving too much away. This is the origin of the film. I said, oh, here I am talking about no spoilers, and I'm worried about giving spoilers to you guys.
It's all good. It's all
Um,
good.
but it is about the origin of Hamlet.
Yeah.
And it's a fictionalized version of that. And in the last act where they're performing Hamlet, there's a final shot where the entire audience reaches their hands out And without giving context, it is incredibly moving and incredibly beautiful. It symbolizes so much of love, care, and compassion without saying a word.
Mm.
It's a powerful moment. That moment alone would help it win People's Choice at TIFF. And maybe that's it, because I don't know, the rest of it, I was like, yeah, it was fine. Um, but this moment, it really sticks with you after the credits. You're just thinking of this image of everybody with their hands out. It's just a beautiful piece. But those were my honorable mentions, if you will.
Those are your honorable mentions. I
Yeah, they
mean,
are. You will not see coming what my top three are if those are my honorable mentions.
Yeah,
I,
really.
I will say though, you mentioned kind of two scenes, and as you described them, they're scenes that don't necessarily, they're not pushing the plot forward in any traditional sense. They take the time to just sort of say something without words. I am gonna tease my number one without saying what it is, but let's just say my number one is a moment just like that. So I'm excited to get to that when we do.
Yeah, I would have to say it's you even have not having seen both of those films, the way you've talked about them and the importance of those scenes, it's definitely sells me on the idea that the film is, both of those films hit a deep emotional core. And I've heard a lot about Life of Chuck and its structure and the way it kind of like feels like three different genre movies into one, but it's the same character, if I'm not mistaken, that like a
Yeah.
Chuck that carries it through in different ages. And I love that. I love that idea of telling a story through other stories. So I'm excited to get to that one if I can, hopefully. But apparently not many people liked it. I'm gonna check it out. I gotta
It,
check it out and see.
I'm a big Life of Chuck stan. I
Okay.
and
A lot
most
of people
times,
were though. A lot of people were. I think
yes,
I think the problem with that though too, just as a side note, like I think the fact that that movie was released so late after all the buzz of it at TIFF hurt it, because it didn't come out
yeah,
until like middle of 2025. Like it was really late. I think it was like after March or something like that. Like,
it was June.
whereas it was June. It was in the summer. That's so far. That's almost a year outside of TIFF, right? So many people would have forgotten that movie versus like, in many of the cases, like even some of the films that were like Hamnet, that release happened very soon after, TIFF, right? So, again, you kind of want to capitalize on that opportunity. They should have pushed it to try to get it out for before end of year, or at least closer to after, 2020, like the start of 2025.
My theory, and this is just my personal theory, is that
Mm.
now I have heard too that A24 had several films that were competing for awards, so they thought, well, we'll do it. We'll just push it.
Mm.
My theory is they thought they were going to make bank on it. Like maybe they thought it would be a Forrest Gump type film that would earn its legs and it would just pick up
Oh,
steam over the summer.
right.
That's my thought, but I
Yeah.
mean,
Then
you're
do it in
absolutely right.
March. Do it
Yeah.
in March. Do it early. Like, you know what I mean? Like and then give it a good like run at theaters up until June. Do you know what I mean? And I think it would probably resonate. But by June, with so much going on in the summer, I don't know. It kind of
Yeah.
gets lost, right?
It was
So
absolutely I think it made like 2 million in its opening weekend and hasn't made it to streaming yet. Like I've been waiting for it
there's
on
the other thing.
Netflix.
Yeah. Just
Like
get it out.
I feel like this is gonna be a film in 5 years that, excuse me, 5 years that people pick up and go, "Oh, did it? I never heard of this." And
Yeah,
everybody's gonna be
yeah. Oh,
saying,
I
"Yeah,
love Tom Hiddleston. Yeah,
yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Loki's in this? Yeah.
yeah."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
For
See,
a few minutes.
very important.
Let's get to the number three pick. Justin, why don't you take us with your number three pick?
Sure. Yeah. So my last one was a Marvel movie, and the reason why my honorable mention was a Marvel movie is because I was debating between these two Marvel moments, and I ended up putting this one as number three, and it's from the Thunderbolts. It's one of the most unexpected moments for me this year, actually, and which is it's which isn't a movie that I would have expected to hit me so emotionally with the Thunderbolts. Like I just wasn't expecting that. You both have seen it.
Yeah.
I imagine, right? Yes.
Oh yeah,
So there's this scene, obviously, where there's this scene where Bob is finally forced to confront Sentry, and not as this big CGI threat. It's more of a him confronting a deeply broken version of himself, and instead, of this movie having, kind of escalating into a traditional Marvel third act solution, which kind of happened. It happened before this moment, and it amped up. So it kind of what's that term that they say? Push the boundaries a little bit. You know what I mean, Nate? There's that term that they
Is
say,
suspension of disbelief.
a suspension of disbelief, or just kind of flipping the genre on its head by suddenly just going for something more emotional. What really got me is just how intimate it felt. This wasn't about saving the world per se. It was really about recognizing that Bob himself isn't a monster. He's a person who genuinely doesn't believe he deserves to be saved. And it really drove home this idea that sometimes heroism isn't about saving everyone. It's really about saving someone. And that's felt really rare for a Marvel movie. Do you know what I mean? Like it didn't feel like that was something that we had typically dealt with. So, Marvel usually frames redemption through sacrifice or spectacle. Here redemption comes from empathy, like from a group of choosing to stay, to help, to hold. You're not beyond helping. It's such a risky choice for Marvel to go with, but I think it paid off really, really well because it stuck with me. And what made it even stronger, I think, is like, is who's doing the saving. This isn't the Avengers. These are damaged people helping another damaged person. And it felt like found family in the messiest, most honest way. So I walked away thinking about that scene way more than any of the action beats. And it just kind of redefined what I want from Marvel going forward. And that's why it stuck with me so well, so much. So that scene from Thunderbolts was fantastic.
I love that because I think Lewis Pullman, when we meet him in that movie, he's so mild-mannered, he's so quiet, he's so shy. And at a certain point in the movie, we kind of see him, he kind of goes a bit dark, like dark, like disappearing people off the street level. And I just you mentioned that sequence, and I'm just like, how do we get back from that? And so, yeah, I love the idea that what you said, broken people finding a broken person, then just realizing that they're all broken. They just need to all figure it out, and that they're all also kind of, to a certain degree, kind of all being used in different ways. Yeah. And I thought you were going to go with the thing that I got spoiled on, which was the whole name change situation. We are in spoilers, right? I don't want to be spoiled for someone else.
You're good.
Okay.
Apparently, we only are caring about spoilers when it's the three of us. So don't worry. It's like...
But the fact that they did that title switcheroo with the asterisk and what have you, I was so frustrated by that because I was ready to see it. I was in Japan at the time, and my whole party, I was like, okay, I found an English screening. It's at this theater at this exact time. We're going to be passing through here. We can make it work. We didn't make it work. And then, I think 2 days go by.
Yeah, it was after the weekend.
Monday.
Immediately, immediately, it's spoiled on the internet with the actual cast. Like, I was just like, dude, come on. Like, that's just, I was hoping it was a bad joke.
They were putting posters up around LA. There are videos of them putting the posters up.
Well, the thing that in LA that they did is they put it up as the Thunderbolts, but then they ripped the reveal through the poster, and it says, and I liked that because that's such a staple. Like they buy that ad space all the time in LA. So for them to do something like that is kind of fun. Like this year we've seen Lilo and Stitch, we've seen Tron there. Every big movie on that massive wall in LA is always advertised. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool, the marketing. I do wish that they kind of push it out another week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like let the movie run a full week.
Like I think that moment could have been in our top moments. Do you know what I mean? Had it not just been sort of given away. I don't know. Maybe that's just my experience.
I honestly felt like that was just sort of like a,
Don't say you were expecting it, Justin.
No,
Come
not that I
on.
was expecting it, but like
He always
we
predicts
all,
everything.
I try to, I just felt like it was to be expected. There was a lot of
Yeah,
names on the table, right? Dark
sure.
Avengers, New Avengers. So it's like, it was going to be one of them, and sure enough, that's what it was. So I feel
Yeah.
like if some people are not going to be that surprised by that, but I don't know, man. The movie definitely went a different route, and you were saying like it was such a Fantastic Four was such an underrated film, which I do agree. I also think though that like of the Marvel movies that came out this year, I think this is my favorite, Thunderbolts
Mm.
for sure.
I like that.
Well, and even to bookend the moment that you're talking about there,
Mhm.
we forget, and I actually forgot about this moment until you brought it up, but it
Mhm.
might have made my list, is the walk off the ledge at the opening of this film, which is
Mm.
just one of the most stunning,
Mhm.
few like intelligent. It's not just a stunt.
Mhm.
Like it's a thing. Did I just give a thumbs up? Apparently I
You got a
did.
virtual
Indulgences.
thumbs up
I
that
gave
came
it a
up.
thumbs up.
There you go.
But Florence walking
Oh.
off the ledge
Mhm.
and not having her having actually done it's just it like that bookends where they end up in the film
Mhm.
so beautifully.
Mhm.
Such an
Yeah,
incredible arc.
and it felt that exact moment from a standpoint of like going against the memes and like screw you, stupid Marvel haters. Like
Yeah.
the whole CG moment, right, in Black Widow of her that gets memed to all hell. It's like to get to see her actually doing that. I'm like, yeah,
That's
that's right.
probably why she had to do
That's
that, though.
right.
She was like, you know what? If we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this right,
Got to do it
because
right.
I don't need to be meme to death about some bad CGI. So
It was
let's.
all AI. It was all AI. It wasn't her, it was an android Yelena that took a
No.
step. Oh, that's a good pick. Good pick. Nate, number three.
My number three, I think memorable moments. It's funny because I was talking to a friend of mine as I was putting some of these together, and we were talking about like horror movies and how horror movies for me, there's schlocky, whatever horror movies, and then there's horror movies that stick with you because there was something that was so crazy that it scares you so much that it stays with you. I think the same can be said for moments that make me cry my eyeballs out. I cry my eyeballs out a lot in movies. It's one of my favorite things to actually do is experience that emotion because it just tells me that the movie is connecting with me in a way that either I brought something to it or it brought something out in me or taught me something new. And Pixar has a way of hitting you with a gut punch every single time. I can't think of a movie of theirs that I didn't at least get a little choked up watching. But there is a moment in Elio while he's away in. Have you seen Elio? Just double
Yeah.
checking. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
beautiful. He's away in the communiverse and he sees the duplicate version of him. I've just been referring to him as Goop Elio, but he sees Goop Elio with his aunt. They're bonding. She's happier. They're cooking, right? And he's seeing her with a more compliant, quieter, more helpful version of himself. And the way that he internalizes seeing that, the animation on his face, these animators did such an incredible job reinforcing that fear that he has, that he feels that he's too emotional, he's too awkward, he's too needy, he's too much. And, of course, Pixar, they're so smart. The portal window closes. His aunt's smile drops immediately after it closes. And she goes into full investigation mode. And she's actually not happy with this version of Goop Elio, right? Her Goop son. And Pixar, it's like this almost surgical level of representing these emotions that Pixar is so good at. And that moment just hurts so much and it stuck with me. I think all the Goop Elio moments are fantastic. There's some great like classic sci-fi references, some really funny horror stuff, but that emotional moment from Elio was the moment that I was just like, oh, man, it hits because I getting to do this podcast and getting to in previous roles that I've experienced in my career, I've gone from off the stage to on the stage, and when you're on stage and when you're in front of people, you get in your head quite a bit, and so to get to see Elio in his own head, seeing kind of his worst fear come true, it just that was a moment that stuck with me. So yeah, I'm gonna go with my number 3 as that moment from Elio. Yeah,
That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
yeah.
I didn't love Elio as much as I've loved all their stuff, but I liked it a
Mhm.
lot more. I watched the second time watching it with my kids. I liked it a lot more. Maybe
Mhm.
the first time I was in a bad
I
mood.
was yeah, I was surprised by that movie. I think like again, like everyone's always looking for original stories and not necessarily sequels and continued franchises. And some people like that, obviously, because we've seen a lot of movies, like you mentioned, How to Train Your Dragon,
Right.
Nate.
We got Toy
But
Story 5 coming up. You
Yeah,
know
right,
what
but
I
we,
mean?
we
Like,
this year we had
nuts.
Lilo and Stitch, right?
yeah,
Like live action Lilo and Stitch
yeah.
translation. Like so many people want to see them see stories done again, but then here comes Elio with a completely original story, and that's kind of harder to do these days without
Yeah.
having something to kind of anchor it. And I feel like kudos to Domichi and the entire team for really kind of pulling this together. But yeah, I feel like it went over some people's heads a little bit, but at the same time, I don't know if it was something that people really wanted at this point, right? You know what I mean? Like in terms of a story, an original story. A lot of people are looking forward to Toy Story 5
Yeah.
for next year, like you mentioned, Nate. So,
But this
um,
year, right? Isn't it?
oh yeah, sorry
Yes,
for
June.
2026.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
We're here.
2026. I keep forgetting that it's already
I
2026.
know. Have you done the thing where you write it down yet? Right? You have to write it
Yes.
down, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already screwed that up like 3 times. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, it's January 8th. It's only been 8 days, so.
Okay. Deal.
And I will say there's a lot of Elio that I really liked. Actually, I
Mhm.
thought the relationship between him and his aunt was just incredible. And I like the moment you picked there with this other him that's replaced him and the relationship there. That part of it I loved. I loved that tension, and I love you're right, man. I don't know what Pixar does. I know we can research it online, but they know how to hit you in the emotion center, and they do. Nobody does it quite like them.
It's
Mhm.
it's it's the it's the animation, it's the lovable characters, and it's the music. Like Michael Giacchino, just he's all over it. He's gonna get you. He's gonna get you every time.
Did he do Elliot?
I think he did Elio. I'm pretty sure he did Elio. Am I wrong?
Did
I'll
Could
tell
be
you.
Maybe.
wrong.
Yeah, let's check that
Elio,
out.
composer
Rob Simonson gets
Rob
you every
Simonson.
time. You know what I'm saying? Rob Simonson finds a
Love
way.
Rob Simonson.
Rob Simonson. No, but I think you're right though. Like the
Michael
formula
Giacchino usually is the one
usually
that's
does,
getting you
but
with Up.
like you look at the movies and you think that there's a formula, but it's really about all those things that you just described. It's
Yeah.
it's it's the animation, it's the music,
Yeah.
and then it's these filmmakers and the studio's culture of trusting its filmmakers and helping them to elevate that story that really does again, work as the formula. I think it's that collaboration. You hear a lot of it. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and long nights, and that part of animation. There's a lot of that and reworking and so on. But to have a movie like Turning Red that I think was like
Yes.
incredibly amazing, incredibly fresh and unique, and it just helped me at least reimagine the next generation of what Pixar is, and that's what Elio is in my opinion. Not
Yeah.
just because Domichi did it, but in because of sort of the trajectory of the story and the way that they're trusting the filmmakers to to tell this story that does feel like it is personal and it is about understanding self-worth and what that looks like and what you bring and what makes you special. And I love that message because I think anyone and everyone has gone through that at some point in their life.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Steve?
All right. My number 3. I think you gentlemen will appreciate. Um, my number 3 is from a small independent film called Superman, and it's just a new character.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I
I-
saw that one.
did you may have heard of it?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah. I may have
know.
heard of it. I think I saw it too. Yeah,
I think it was in theaters for a week.
It's like
I
a
mean,
dog. There's a dog in it. I think.
Netflix has its way. Um,
Yikes.
no, no. In all seriousness, there's a moment in this film that to me just I didn't see it coming, and it became bigger than I expected it would. and Lois and Superman Clark are arguing. This is not this. I'm not talking about the scene where they're doing the interview,
Okay.
but I'm talking about the scene where he says that kindness is the real punk rock.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I could not believe how impactful that was for me or in that film. And I under this, like, it really hits into the core of the film and core of the character, but it also hits into the core of where we are as a culture right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And
The
I was like,
society. Yeah.
oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
who who would have thought that such a simple sentence
Would say so much.
would say so much?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How is kindness punk rock? Kindness should not be an act of rebellion.
No, right.
But it's so beautiful. And I couldn't, like, this moment to me just stood out.
Hmm.
Like, it absolutely was a stunning piece of dialogue from Superman. Totally caught me off guard.
Hmm. Yeah, I absolutely loved the way things were written for specific scenes in the dialogue. You brought up the interview scene at the beginning. That was a great scene. The scene that you just described, absolutely fantastic, dropping such a beautiful line that I think sort of found its momentum in social. You know, a lot of people were memeing it and showing things and making art around it and just posters and stuff because it does feel like it is a rebellion against, you know, because you can turn the news on and there's so much hate, there's so much awful stuff going on, right? And like a sentence like that says so much more about where we are as a society than we could ever imagine, right? And I think that that's great. And then you also have like that final scene too with that monologue scene with Lex and Clark or Superman, how he has that sort of realization of what makes him super. You know what I mean? Like Superman is his human side. I loved that. I think, you know, James Gunn really does know this character and knows how he wants to represent him as part of his DCU, and it shows in that movie.
Well, and I think even just like the James Gunn of what's going on in the background in the scene you described, Steve, of like
Mhm.
the Justice Society's out there fighting a giant like interdimensional monster, and
It's
it's
true.
hilarious,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's such a James Gunn thing to be like, no, 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 we're not. There's enough of that in this movie. Don't worry, we'll get to more of those cool
Mhm.
things. That's going on in the background. This is what's important. This is the message I'm trying to get across.
Yeah.
And this is the message of the character that he wants to get across. And so, yeah, that is a beautiful scene and just so gorgeous, that sequence, like the purple hue coming off of whatever that thing is in the
Yeah.
background, like coming through the window. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
Very vulnerable too, right? Like that
Yeah.
moment, because that's right when he lost Crypto, right? And he, you know,
Yeah.
he was sort of broken. He felt defeated, right? You know, he
Oh,
realized someone
dude,
was,
he's not even a very good dog. Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
come on.
yeah. And but he just like
But he's
he knows that
lost,
he's
he's
out there.
scared,
He's
he's
lost out there.
alone.
He's scared, and
Oh.
I gotta find him. And that's what's really interesting too is that a big chunk of that movie was about like go finding his like him going to find his dog,
It's not even his
right?
dog.
Yeah, it's not even his
Not even
dog,
his
right?
dog.
Like that's the thing. Like I think again, you know, on a lot in a lot of ways, James knows what he's doing with that character,
Yeah.
and
Thank
in the
goodness.
figuring. Yes, exactly. Thank goodness.
I do find it fascinating. If you look back at Superman
Mhm.
films, just the films, they're always a response to the culture they're coming from. Every single now, I think all films are, but I mean Superman especially. Even I would even argue Man of Steel, which people say, well, that's not Superman, came at a time when we weren't when the West wasn't really thinking about the tough questions.
Mm.
Mm.
You know, I think because that came out during the Obama era, and everything felt like it was going to be fine. But so I think there was some sort of response there, like this is what let's use Superman to explore this. But I mean, it's just a perfect representation of the character. I can't deny it,
Yeah.
and that line hits deep. So,
Hmm. Hmm. It's a good
all
choice,
right, we're
guys.
Good soup.
Good soup.
good soup. Number two, Justin. Number two.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, Nate brought up horror movies. He knows I'm not a big horror movie guy, but this year I definitely got to see a horror movie because it meant he could speak to
I
Alden
definitely got
Ehrenreich.
to see a horror movie.
Yeah, a horror movie. Yeah, I
He
got to see.
forced himself because
I
he got to
forced
talk to
myself.
someone cool.
Yeah, I got to talk to Alden Ehrenreich. So from Weapons. So yeah, my second pick comes from the movie Weapons.
How big of a spoiler? Just before, can I take? Do I? You think I should?
It's the ending. I can dance
It's
around
good.
it.
I'm good. No, you do.
I
No,
haven't,
no.
I
Go
haven't seen
full,
it
go
either,
full
actually.
spoilers. When I listen
Okay,
back
well,
to
if you
this,
have, yeah,
I'll skip it.
no,
You're good.
I'll what's it called?
You're good. You're good. You're good.
I
You're
can,
good.
I can talk about it in a way that feels, um, that it hits home the point. But basically, this does take place at the end, and it's just when everything is kind of rounding out. The control is gone, the illusion is not there, and there's a whole theme of missing children in this, and suddenly the children turn on their witch, if you will. And it was just a moment, it was just a moment that really surprised me, just because of how euphoric it felt. Like that's the word I would use to describe, because this movie has been so tense, so terrifying, so unsettling, and suddenly there's this like fist in the air release where the power finally shifts, and just to see these kids doing their thing, and it's for shock value, it's intense, it felt incredibly cathartic after everything she did to them. So you know her name's Gladys. I'm sure you've heard her, the actress. Like, she just won the golden she just won the Critics' Choice for, I can't remember her name right now. I'm just gonna pull it up real quick here. I apologize.
Oh, I know who you mean. I can't think of her name. Yes,
Yeah, it's
she did.
Amy something. Yeah, Madigan. Amy Madigan just won the the Critics' Choice Award for her portrayal as Gladys Lilly, and she's terrifying in this movie, dude. She's absolutely terrifying. She deserves all the flowers for how creepy she was. But her character represented control, exploitation, and this horrifying desire to consume, to preserve at the same time. And just watching everything kind of break and snap to back, and for people to get revenge, it was incredible. It was just, it switches, and then there's such a balance between scary and comedy in this movie, where things kind of feel awkwardly funny, but then like this moment happens, and I don't know, the people that I was watching it with, because it was a very small screening, we all laughed, because there was just this moment that everything shifts, and even as terrifying, we were all excited to see this moment happen. And the movie doesn't really undercut moments with irony or hesitation. It lets the audience sit in that relief, like, oh yes, we got it, and you're genuinely happy for these kids. So I think it was just a really bold tonal switch, and if you haven't seen it, I would see it, even if I've spoiled it for you, because it's probably a thing. But I walked out of there feeling so good about this movie. It definitely surprised me, because again, as I said, I'm not a big horror movie fan, and I was surprised. But the fact that I could talk to Alden Ehrenreich, Han Solo, young
Mm.
Han Solo, I was like, I'm gonna jump on that opportunity, so let's do it. But yeah, it had to be on my moments for 2025.
That's fantastic. Oh, can we give Nate the thumbs up now? It says that here he come. Here come the headphones.
Justin, I gotta say, I wholeheartedly agree with that pick. Absolutely. 100%. I actually just went and watched the whole movie on fast forward. So I agree.
Just the finale, just so he would understand.
Yeah, you don't need to understand the rest, because it's horrifyingly terrifying, but it's a good moment.
Nice. I'm assuming it had something to do with the mustache, right? He has an amazing mustache in that movie.
Alden?
Alden does. Yeah.
Yeah, he has a
Yeah.
fantastic mustache in it.
Gorgeous.
Definitely check it out, though. Both of you should check it out.
I do
think-
really
is-
want
is-
to.
Did you guys see
really-
Barbarian?
I loved Barbarian.
Okay, so-
Barbarian shocked me at how smart it was. And
Exactly. So you'll probably like Weapons for a similar
sense.
reason.
for that.
And I think a lot of what I just outlined in the scene and mentioned is very much the intelligence around it all. But man, is it creepy. It's so creepy. The guy just knows how to nail creepy. It's really wild.
Fair. All right, Nate, number 2.
Number two, I love movies that make me scared. I love movies that make me cry. I love movies that make me cry with laughter. My number
Nice
two is
segue.
a
I
yeah,
saw what you
thank
did.
you.
That
You
was very.
see? Come on, it's like I got a podcast that I do. Number two is Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Now, I'm not sure if this is fair or not because it's like I watched it in 2020. I know it comes out in 2026 technically, right? But we watched it at TIFF. Is it okay? We can still count it. Is
Wait,
that all right?
hold on 1 second.
Check with the yeah.
They confront the official rule book here.
Let's see.
Uh, yeah, Article 17 says it's fine. So go
It
ahead.
says it's okay.
It's good. You're
Perfect.
good.
Amazing. Okay,
What
'cause
would you do if I said no? It's like
I
you
had a
got to come up
plan.
with another number two
he
movie.
he actually probably had a backup.
I had a plan. We have
He's
to have
that
plans.
prepared.
Matt and Jay have proven to us we always got to have a plan.
Sure.
Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie has its fill of incredible, mind-blowingly funny moments. There is a specific moment that I will not spoil. I don't know if you guys want to spoil it at some point in this
The
conversation.
two of us will tell you what it is. Nate won't. It's like-
It involves a certain item from a famous N64 game that just literally blows minds. I'm gonna stick with a moment that is maybe a little less spoilery because it's in the trailers, and that's the jump from the CN Tower. It is so good. It encapsulates the essence of Matt and Jay's just like reckless drive to be seen, to be taken seriously,
More
and
Matt.
leading
Let's
more
say
Matt than
Matt.
anything.
Yeah.
But I love leading up to it. Like I love the whole thing. We got to like sort of binge the show. Both Justin and I and weren't as familiar as Darcy, our other co-host, with the series, the web series and what have you, leading up to the movie. So we binged as much as we could and watched as much as we could. And knowing that they bring in, some of their extras are just random people that are just brought into this movie. And so leading up to them going to the hardware store and they're talking to the the employee, and he's like
What are you
begging
trying to
them.
do?
Yeah, what do you please don't no, I know what you're don't do
I
this.
wouldn't do
Please
that.
don't do it. Don't no, I really would not. He's thinking something horrible's about to happen. And Matt's just like blankly smiling at him, just being like, it's fine. It's gonna be fine. Don't no, no, it's fine, it's fine.
He's
And
reassuring him that it's going to be okay.
that it's gonna be okay. And so they get up to the tower, and the way that they shot this, the way that it's seamlessly cut for them to just jump off, I was blown away. Our whole theater, which wasn't very big, the theater that we were all in, was, just completely cackling, freaking out. They land on the Sky Dome roof. And it's like the perfect punchline. Like it's the same thing as I think one of them in the first few episodes where he's got his penis out or whatever right on the poster, right? Like the fact that it's just like that final blow to their ego to be like, no, you didn't time this right. You did all of this and you land on the roof of the Sky Dome.
He didn't even make it into the dome. It was
didn't even make it in, and it connects so much with anyone and everyone, but specifically everyone from Toronto. And dude, I got headaches watching that movie. I was laughing so much. Like it's such a phenomenal film, and that sequence is just it's incredible. It's so good.
It is genuinely funny across the board, and the best homage to Back to the Future I think I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
But it was funny too. Like one of the things I liked about it is it kind of was horrifying to realize where we were in 2007. Like this movie goes down to 2007.
Oh,
and
yeah.
there are things that happen, and you're like, oh,
I love that moment though. I love that moment when he's in the theater. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go see this movie," and he's sitting there, and someone says an awful word, and he just looks at camera. He's like, "Oh no!" He realizes what happened. I love that. I thought that was such a clever way for that to be the sort of the moment where they realize they're in a different time. But yeah, I there's so much of that movie that was absolutely hilarious. There's the moment with that
with the item from James from 007 from GoldenEye,
the
right?
GoldenEye, yeah, that was wild. I literally remember everyone in that. Like no one suspected that. No
Yeah.
one suspected that. Like,
It was so
sure,
quiet after that moment, followed by just sheer
oh,
shock.
sheer
Yeah, like,
shock.
Yeah, it's a great
oh,
moment.
Had you watched we saw you at the screening, and I think you were mentioning to us that you hadn't seen the show. You hadn't.
No,
No, right? So
I'd
this was
never
your
seen a frame.
introduction. Yeah. Did you watch
oh,
the
you need
show
to go
after?
back.
Have
I
you
I
watched episodes?
haven't. I haven't.
Okay.
I would go back. I just
Mhm.
Please.
haven't. Like
Mhm.
I haven't done it right now. But
Mhm.
I I was impressed at how well they executed all of that stuff and interacting with people without being obnoxious.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times when people
Yes.
are doing that stuff with people on the street and you see those bits and it's like, okay,
No, they need to be. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but they're
Because
so
the
good.
people because Matt and Jay are the butt of the joke every time. I think that's
Right.
the
Yeah.
secret sauce, right? It's not we're not pulling jokes on these
It's not
people,
pranks on people. Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Mhm.
might get an emotion or a reaction out of
Sure.
them, but it's never at the detriment necessarily or
For sure.
intentionally at the detriment of those people. And dude, it's just if you thought that the Back to the Future element was fantastic, you got to watch the show because the show it's like every other episode is something that you're just like, how did they get away? How did they have the copyright? How does it?
It's not even. I don't think it's necessarily copyright as much as it is. There's like a clause for like parody
They
and like
found it. They
and reference.
found it
Yeah.
and used
Yeah.
stuff that you're
Sure.
just like,
Maybe. You know what I mean? Like they find certain things and stuff. So I don't know.
I love it.
But the whole show is very much an embodiment of what the movie is, right? Like just
Yeah.
homage to pop culture and other things like that. So, I haven't watched all of it. I've watched a good chunk of it for especially the first two seasons. But yeah, that moment that with the Sky Dome, the way it was shot, the way it was filmed, the visual effects, it all paid off really, really well. It actually worked really, really well for them. So
And
kudos to
and
them for actually doing it.
and insanely is one of those things where you go, wait, did they actually do it? Like you,
Yeah.
Right.
it's
Yeah,
so
I was
well
like, that looks
executed.
legit. Yeah, that looks legit. Like, did they actually go all the way up there? Like that whole interaction though of them going through the metal detectors, that was real from what had seen
I
on the red
know.
carpets. That's crazy.
They're
That's
blur. That's
wild.
what I mean. Like this,
Yeah.
they blur the line so beautifully.
CN
Yeah.
Tower has to like up their security gate game now, I
Now we
guess.
know how.
That's what they were saying on the red carpet. They were like, we were surprised. We thought we were going to get stopped, but then we actually got in, and then we needed to do the rest. So
no.
it's like, okay, all right.
Amazing.
Oh, that's a great moment.
Steve, what is your number two?
My number two. My number two is a little different. My number two is a little different. My number two is from Sinners,
Oh.
which is one of those movies that has resonated entirely throughout the year, and it's just so beautifully executed. And again, I'm going back to dance. Um, the dance scene in the halfway
Mhm,
point of the film
mhm.
is one of the most incredible moments of the year for me, just because there's so much in it. In the midst of oppression, there's joy, there's history that is shown through the dance and different styles, just seamlessly moving through. It's just incredible to see, and it speaks so much into history and into you know uh, culture, and it's just such an incredible moment. Like I never get tired of watching this particular scene because it speaks so, I don't know, it changes the game
Mhm.
to me in this it's just an incredible moment.
I
Yeah.
agree. And if you don't mind, I'm going to jump in because it's my number one. Sinners is absolutely that moment you're talking about, Steve. We're like right here.
Mhm.
That is absolutely my number one. It is like you're saying, it's transcendent. It, Miles Caton, I think is the actor's name, plays Sammy.
Mhm.
Starts playing "I Lied to You," and it expands into something that, for a movie that is so grounded and real up until a certain point, and then
Right.
does that huge shift, and is my favorite thing about the movie is the magic trick of like two movies in one, that they pull off. But you start to get almost this pause in the narrative, like you were talking about before, right? And that almost supernatural thing. There's dancers, musicians, spirits from across time and culture, and and we almost get this. It feels like a continuous shot. I don't think it is a oneer, but it almost
No,
feels like
it
it the
feels
way
like a
that it
oneer.
floats, right? And you sort of get this past, present, future look at why the juke joint is so important, right? Outside of making Smoke and Stack a lot of money, it's bringing the community get together
Mhm.
through music.
Mhm.
And I love how music is probably the biggest thing that elevates this movie beyond everything that comes before the shift to horror and everything that comes after. Music is the thing that is the
Yeah.
through point for the film. And so for this to be that moment, for him to come out and play this music and just get to see sort of why what they're doing is so important
Mhm.
is phenomenal, dude. It
Mhm.
it is a moment, like you're saying, I have not stopped thinking about that movie, and that is the moment that I always go back to in my head.
Mhm.
So that, sorry to jump ahead, but that is
Nope.
my number one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the movie was incredible, and like to the point of what you were saying, it's two movies in one. But as you both are kind of articulating, like the use of music and the focus on music, the sort of the cultural importance of it, and what it meant to Black people, to have that, to be their song, to be their outlet, if you will, during such trying times, like very difficult times for them, right? And I think that that's also very much a huge anchor for what this film is really kind of talking about as well, right? And yeah, I think that blend of all of those elements together to turn into like a horror movie, it is so well done. And I think that's why this film is resonating so much
Mm.
with people, is just because of how different it felt, while also bringing in so much, as you mentioned, Steve, history and cultural appreciation for things.
One of my favorite descriptions of this moment is that you've got so many films that deal with black trauma with history, and certainly this film does that as well. But this is a moment of black joy
Mm.
for the black community, I should say.
Mhm.
And it just, yeah, it's a stunning piece. It's just a stunning moment to bear witness to.
Mhm.
Incredible.
Shout out to Ryan Coogler, dude. The
Yeah.
guy knows
Yeah.
how to make a movie. Goodness
Yeah.
me. And I also just like, I think the entire cast was so phenomenal, but like that whole thing with Michael B. Jordan playing two people was just, it's like you forget watching the movie that it's him in both roles. You know what I mean? Like you just sort of accept it so quickly into that film, and oh my goodness, I want to watch it again. I'm gonna go watch it right now.
All
No, I'm
right. See
not.
you
I'm
later.
not. I'm not.
No,
I
I'm
think
just joking.
Justin's got to go
Give us
next.
a little more time.
Sure, sure, sure.
Before we get to our number ones, Nate.
Sorry.
Uh, but before we get to the rest of our number ones, I should say,
Mhm.
we do have some other people who are giving us their top moments as well, friends to the show. So
Ooh.
let's hear from them.
Hey ScreenFish, Mr. Will here. I don't know why I'm helping you guys out. This is a total conflict of interest. You're a competing website, but anyhow, I'm going to be the bigger person. Happy to share some of my favorite moments of 2025. Actually, I love a good breakthrough performance. Teyana Taylor absolutely crushed it in one battle after another. So happy to see her get rewarded. She won that Globe last week, and I think there's more to come. She's been delivering some top-notch work for some time now in her career as an actress. But I'm just happy to see her get rewarded. She was an absolute knockout. Also, Odessa Zion and Marty Supreme. Wow. Yes, a complete powerhouse performance. I could not stop thinking about her. I still think about her performance to this day. Just, she was funny, she was charming, yet she got like the more vulnerable moments down perfectly. It felt like a truly lived in performance. I love to discover new talent, and I love seeing others discover new talent. So, really thrilled about these two performances. Have a great 2026.
My favorite movie moment from 2025 has to be the scene from Sinners, the one where Sammy is singing the song I Lied to You. And as he's singing, these people from the past come in and the people from the future come in, and they're all joining and singing and dancing to this one song. I thought it was so beautiful. It's almost a spiritual experience watching just how in our real life music is interconnected, and how traditional music from Africa has influenced like African American music, like the blues, and then into hip hop and R&B, and even all the different ways different cultures kind of feed off each other. It was so nice to see that visually, especially as an African person, and then just seeing seeing all of that represented on the screen felt so significant for me, and I know for a lot of people. So that has to be my favorite moment of 2025.
Hey everyone. We had so many good movies this past year, but I think I'll stick with three memorable moments because we all need love, we all need friends. So the first one is in the Frankenstein movie, the friendship and the dialogue, all the conversation between the monster and the blind man. The second one is with Marty Supreme. After everything he did throughout the movie, that ending, seeing his son and crying and realizing what he has with Rachel, it was great. And the third one is in Hamnet, my favorite movie from last year. The siblings conversation and that moment before the tragic situation. I think those three were really memorable.
Here from Bite Size Breakdown. And much like last year, my favorite scene this year was a big musical number. Last year it was a Regent Street sequence from Better Man, and this year it is a dance sequence from Life of Chuck. This is a film I got to see at TIFF the year before this one, and it's been on my mind ever since. It's a film I love. It's a film I wish got more awards, recognition, but the highlight of it is easily the drum sequence with Tom Hiddleston's character just reliving his childhood in his mundane adult life. It is unadulterated joy. It makes you feel good, and that's what the movies are supposed to do sometimes.
Well, boys and girls, we're sitting here deep in the heart of the In the Seats compound headquarters as we're staring down the barrel of yet another year, the year of our Lord 2026. And if you weren't paying attention, 2025 was a little up and down. There was some bad stuff, there was some good stuff. But as always, we found faith and solace in the power of cinema. Because if you weren't paying attention, there was a lot of good stuff this year. This was really an excellent year for cinema. And we could not have been happier as we worked our butts off here over at In the Seats to give you all the best coverage that we possibly could from all over the globe. And before we give you my movie moment of the year, thanks to our friends over at ScreenFish, just a reminder, give us a like and subscribe and follow us over at In the Seats on all sorts of on all social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads. There's a few others. There's too many. And also give us that like and subscribe for our companion podcast In the Seats with the audio-only experience where we sit down with professionals all across the world and we talk about current projects to the industry and all that other good stuff. Like I said, on all major podcast platforms and our In the Seats YouTube channel as well. Boy, this has been a fun year. And I mean, I think my movie moment of the year is less of a moment, but more of a sound and more of a sensation from what is probably my second favorite movie of the year, probably the best international film of the year. It's called Surratt, from co-writer-director Olivier Lax. And it's the story of a father who's accompanied by his son and goes looking for his daughter who is missing in North Africa. And they're going through these raves, and we're seeing these people and this primordial urge to move and dance, and what Surratt does with music and sound and audio is so primal and so guttural that you cannot help but get sucked into the middle of it all. At its core, it's a simple story, but what it does with this sensation of something otherworldly, unexplainable, that's sort of existing underneath these people's feet in this music, in these sounds that we get, it is what makes this film Surratt so uniquely special. I got to see it first at the Toronto International Film Festival this year. I've watched it a couple of times since, and it never gets old. I've pulled something out of it every time I've had the chance to watch it. It's going to be in theaters for everyone around mid to end of January. I don't remember the exact date, but it's coming up soon. But Surratt was a movie moment, or a movie that made me excited about the movies. And in this day and age of AI and mergers and all that other fun stuff that's coming down the pipe, which we can't avoid, it's coming, there's still a lot of reasons to be excited about modern cinema and the importance of the art form therein, and to not get discouraged by external powers that are going on around it, and just sort of have faith in the power of storytelling. Because at the end of the day, that's why we're all here. But like I said, when it is in theaters, go see Surratt. You won't regret it. Check us out over at In the Seats. And thanks to Steve and the team at ScreenFish for allowing me to hop on and share my movie moment or my movie experience or my movie sound, as it were, of the year. And we'll see you soon.
And thank you so much to everybody who sent those clips in. We really appreciate it. And as always, for us, we've got our own number ones that we want to share. So we've heard Nate's. Justin, what about yours?
Yeah, mine is one from TIFF as well. It's a movie that's coming out later this year. Another one that I think is again is slightly delayed in terms of its release. So I'm in relation to what we were talking about with Life of Chuck. So I hope that it comes out sooner rather than later. But this is from Tuner, which I saw at TIFF, and the film is directed by Daniel Roher, and it stars Leo Woodall, and it's a story that spends a lot of time sitting with like sort of damage and self-worth, and how people see themselves, specifically Nikki, played by like Leo, after everything around them has kind of fallen apart. And I think by the end of the film, Nikki is broken, defeated, stripped of everything, and the world around him sees him as someone damaged, largely because that's how he chooses to see himself. And throughout this movie, there's this like reoccurring idea that Nicky is this incredibly gifted musician and he hasn't played in years, and music is one of the things that he refuses to return to. And so, there's a moment in this movie, there's just nothing left to prove, and nowhere left to run, and he just finally decides to play, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And I just loved how we got there and how we get to this specific moment and what it meant for the character. The choice carries so much weight just after everything that we've seen. So what really got me is that the people around him are obviously actors, but we've seen his relationship with each of these characters who were like, oh, we've heard this and we've heard that. They've never heard him play, and they were just, the way they acted off of his music and how shocked and amazed and in love with what they did, it just helped connect with how incredible that moment was for Nikki. So yeah, it was great. It's not a loud triumphant, but it's quiet, it's vulnerable, and it's very deeply human. And watching him just finally play felt like watching someone choose to live again. You know what I mean? Like just to kind of choose that moment to be to work through things, right? And I thought of that as like the turning point for his character. So yeah, Tuner, it was incredible. You got to see it when it comes out. Hope I didn't spoil too much of it, but
no, that made me want to see the movie even more. And I think if any filmmakers are listening to this, I mean, with a lot of our top picks, it's like music, pick music, pick dance, pick something like that's going to connect with people in such a deep way, because it is such a phenomenal multilingual thing that just is so far reaching, and it's a way to really get in those feels, and for that to be so connected to the character that you said, Leo, Nikki,
Leo
the Nikki. Yeah, dude, I think it's funny because like on my short list of one of the ones that I was going to go with was the final song in K-pop Demon Hunters, right? Finally sealing the Han Moon, right? And I was like, I feel stuff from that sequence as well.
For sure.
But again, music, right? And just how much it resonates literally with people. It's just, dude, that makes me really want to see that. I know that was one that you had come out of at TIFF and were just like, you were freaking out.
Yeah. I had heard so much buzz around it, and I was like, I gotta go see this movie because it sounds like it's also because of the director. I've met this Daniel Roher. He's also won for an Oscar for best documentary. He's a Canadian filmmaker. He did the documentary about Navalny the Russian opposition to Putin, who's now passed. But at the time, he was covering all of. He did a whole documentary about his. It's really great. It's a CNN produced documentary. I would definitely check it out. But it won an Oscar. So this is this director's first fiction or non, what would you call it? Fiction story, where he is, it's not a documentary because all he's done is documentaries beforehand. And so I was really intrigued by that. And, the fact that I met him and I, Dustin Hoffman's in this as well. So like, there's just a lot there that I was like really intrigued. And then the buzz around it was like, Matt Rohrbeck, a mutual friend of ours, he was just like, you got to see it. And I was like, okay. And they opened up an extra screening on one day. And I was like, Darcy, we're going to see this movie. It's like, sure. So yeah, it was a surprise. It was definitely a surprise. And that's what I liked about TIFF is that you find those gems out of nowhere.
Tuner was that movie that I really thought I didn't see it. I have not seen it yet, but the buzz was building.
I know.
At such an insane rate. I'm like, I think this is going to win People's Choice just because
if it won People's Choice, I would have like flown off the handle. I would have been like, what? That's insanely good. I'm so excited. I thought at one point, Nirvana the band, the movie was going to win People's Choice. I was really hoping for that too. But yeah, that would have been wild if it did.
It sounded like it was going to. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I look forward to it. And I will say this too about music and specific to TIFF. This might be on my list for next year because I put it off my list this year. Surratt.
Oh,
did you guys see Surratt?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Oh, I'm gonna put a bug in your ear for Surratt. That movie is unhinged. That's the only movie I've seen where a director does not care about the rules of cinema and just messes with you the whole time. It's not a horror, but good Lord. Anyway,
what's your number one?
Well, Nate should go. Nate already did. No,
I can come up with a few more if you want. No.
That wasn't my real number one. No, I'm kidding. No, this is great. Yeah. No, my number one, I have not stopped thinking about this moment all year long, and I can't believe that I'm picking this as my number one. Or rather, I can't believe I'm picking from this movie, but I was fascinated by this film. 28 years later.
Oh.
Did you guys see 28 Years Later?
Sadly, no.
I know you're not a horror guy.
Well, I see. I liked 28 Days Later, and I've followed the franchise up to this point, so I need to watch this one as well because there was a second one, wasn't it? 21 Weeks.
Bone Temple comes out, and they're going to make a third.
Right.
So it was Days, then Weeks.
Yeah, and Years is a trilogy.
Yeah, Years is a trilogy. So I've seen Weeks. I've seen Days. I've seen Weeks. I haven't seen Years yet. So I will need to watch it. But feel free. I'm allowing things to be spoiled for me.
This will be a bit of a spoiler, but this is what I will say. This is what fascinates me so much. So I had seen the first two. I hadn't seen them until right before.
Oh, okay.
These are good. I like these. These are good. All right, fine. I'm not a big horror guy, but sure, these seem really interesting. I am fascinated by the fact that this is one very long movie. This is not a sequel. Like Bone Temple is not a sequel. It is the next chapter. Like this was written as one movie, and so there are plot threads in the first film that there's lots of them that are just not resolved. So the first film is a wild experience. It is so unique to anything I've seen before. But it's very, very smart. And the second one is arguably even smarter. But it's just fascinating to me because I'm not a horror guy in the sense I'm not a big fan of gore, but I am a fan of films that have something to say. And there is a moment in 28 Years Later that blew my mind, and it is a moment where again, spoilers. So sorry, gents. Did you just cover your eyes, Nate?
How it works?
I know. Go ahead. It's like, wait a minute.
I think he was saying amen or something. I don't know.
I don't know. See no evil, hear no evil.
That's right. Because if you're trying to avoid the spoiler, this is not going to do anything.
Go ahead.
A young man and his mother end up meeting a doctor. I'm being intentionally vague, but the mother is dying.
Mhm.
She is very ill, and the mother dies. And the doctor looks at the little boy, and he says, and the doctor is Rafe Fiennes.
Mhm.
So I mean, you're already good quality there. And he looks at the young man who's maybe 12. And he says, this is something you need, essentially, this is something you need to learn. Do you know what memento mori means? And he goes, no. And he says, well, it means that everybody dies. This is just something you need to accept. This is a part of life, essentially, is what he's saying. But even now, it just gives me chills thinking of what the next line is. So he's saying to him, he goes, did you love your mother? He goes, of course I did. And he said, that's memento amoris. You see, everybody loves. And I sat there and I'm blown. And literally, my jaw dropped watching this, because I'm like, every horror movie, every zombie film, whatever it is you want to call it, that I've ever seen, leaves you in this space that, like, I've never seen one that wouldn't leave you at memento mori and just say, look, kid, everybody dies.
Mm-hmm.
And to sit in that space and say that there's still meaning to life with memento amoris is I remember saying to my friend who I went to see it with, I said, what the heck are we watching? Like, what is this thing? Like, this is profoundly philosophical.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not what I expected at all from this film. Like, I thought it would be more like, the second one where they're running around, shooting down zombies or whatever infected.
Mm-hmm.
But there is such an intelligent look at what, like, this series, especially the second one, and the second one, I will say,
Did you just see it? Did you?
I saw the second one.
Yeah, so you saw Bone Temple. Okay.
Yeah, and I won't say a thing about the second one, except that there's another moment on here which was equally shocking for a completely different reason.
Yeah.
It might make my list next year as well. It's just there's such a brain in this franchise that it's been a long time where I've come out of a theater. I said, I need the next one now. I need to know where this goes. And that moment specifically, holding memento mori and memento amoris up against each other, it just rocked my socks.
Interesting. Wow.
It's you're talking about this, like, beautiful moment in a horror film that is elevated, right?
Right.
And my mind just goes right to the MCU. In my mind, I think of the line from Vision, "What is grief, if not love, persevering?" And it's a very similar concept, right? And just to your point, though, to hear that from Paul Bettany, Vision in WandaVision is one thing, but to your point, to hear it in this moment when normally it would just be like, everybody dies, kid, like, go on to the next zombie thing, right?
I think the interesting thing about the franchise too, though, is exactly what you're describing, though, Steve, is like taking more of like the sort of the human approach to understanding it. It's not just about offing a bunch of infected people, right? Like, I think number two
goes that way,
because I think it's sort of the commercialization of the original movie that felt so raw, that did feel more about like isolation, loneliness, and survival. Obviously, it's the key things of a zombie movie, and very raw, right? And then number two comes along, and it has to be the sort of, well, we're the sequel, so we have to elevate everything and do that. Whereas, based on what you're describing for 28 years later, it feels like it returns to like talking about the people, talking about the struggle, talking about the idea of survival, and having people around you that are worth fighting for, and keeping alive, and how that influences you and impacts you in a world where everyone's infected and wants to eat you. I think it's very Last of Us too, in a lot of ways. I think some of these more these movies that are adopting some of the infected or zombie like things. They're all kind of riffing on each other, and I think Last of Us has done it so well where it still focuses on the people in that world along with the infected and telling both stories to a certain degree. Obviously in a video game it's more integral to have more infected because that's a video game experience, but in the show the realization is it's more about the people and their survival and this tactical lifestyle of how you give and take, to get what you need and to stay alive in a lot of ways. So yeah, I think that I'm excited to see 28 years later. I think it's out now, right? Like to rent. I'm pretty sure I can
The
rent
first
it, right?
one, I think it's on streaming, but I'm not sure.
28
It might
years
be on
later.
Crave.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Because I've seen 28 weeks. 28 weeks I've watched so much when I was in university, and 28 years later, I remember. Sorry, 28 days later. My apologies. 28 days later, I watched a lot in university. 28 weeks later, I watched like once or twice and was very like, this doesn't feel like what it was meant to be. What the original was.
Well, this is back to Boyle directing and Garland writing. Although Nia DaCosta wrote or directed the second one.
Which is I'm excited to see. I love her work. So,
well, and I think in something that is 28 years of this world, to the point of like he's reminding him, like he's you know what I mean? Like we had this hope at one point, right? I think right now in the world we're in, I know it's screwed up. It's not as screwed up as their world though, I hope. But we're in this world where we still have a semblance of, that even though everyone in this world of death, there's reason, right? There's the love is the reason that we keep
exactly
on. And so for that sequence to specifically be in 28 years, I'm happy that it wasn't something that was like a callback or it was like, that's they've gone through a lot to get to this point. And so that makes that line hit even more. I'm so excited to watch it. And just, dude, is it Ralph or Rafe? Either way,
it's Rafe.
I'm excited. Rafe. I'm excited.
It's spelled Ralph, but pronounced Rafe.
Listen, I don't care how he pronounces it. He's a great actor. He can do whatever he wants.
Ripped. You will not look at him the same way after these two movies. I'm telling you right now, man. It's honestly, guys, here we are. We did it.
Woo! Did it.
Thank you so much.
Ruined some movies for some people, and not for each other though. We're so considerate to one another, but for everyone else.
Listen, they knew what they were getting into. Okay,
That's right.
Steve set it up
Steve
very
set
well.
It up. Yeah, he did it.
He's done this before. It's fine
for sure.
Honestly, though, this has been so much fun, guys. I appreciate having you on. But
thank you for having us.
Yeah, but let's have people have a chance to find you guys better. How can you sell your wares, if you will?
Oh yes, well, we are GeekCentric, and
sell your wares. Sorry, I'm picturing him like, does he come out with a trench coat?
With no watch. Yeah, you want to watch?
Am I pulling a big cart behind me and he's revealing what we?
Now you sound like a Star Wars character.
Heck yeah, I'd love to do one.
Yeah,
we some kind of Jedi.
Well, as I said, we are GeekCentric. You can find us on our socials, on Instagram at We Are GeekCentric, on TikTok at We Are GeekCentric, on Twitter at GeekCentric YT. We host a podcast, and we talk about movies, reviews. We do some interviews, so you can find that wherever you can find the GeekCentric podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can find our interviews, which we put out in interview form, as well as a bunch of other stuff that we've done, like toy videos and stuff like that, on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/geekcentric. You can follow me at HelloMJLaw, and Nate, where can they follow you?
Yeah, they can follow me at why can't I remember my own Instagram? You can follow me at Nate Plays Games on Instagram if you want to follow me personally. And then we also have something that we've recently been doing called GeekCentric, where we get to try all the fun, geeky foods that bring us together and offer insight on viral foods and what have you. We've got some really, really fun eats coming up for the first part of 2026 that I'm mouth watering. I'm drooling at the mouth here to get to taste. So I'm excited. We already teased one of them
I was
that
going to say, is
cone.
that the How to Train Your Dragon?
How to Train Your Dragon mac and cheese cone coming to an Eat-Centric near you for sure. Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that. And I got to check out Eat-Centric as well. I didn't realize you guys. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
And as always, if you are watching this, you found us somewhere. But you can find us wherever podcasts are available. And you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google, all that stuff. And you can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. I always die a little bit inside when I say that, but
yeah, you don't need to say that.
It really shows my age. It's like, please smash that subscribe button.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel.
Yeah, that's right. It's your boy.
Come on, what are we doing?
Of course, you can find us when you find us on YouTube. You can find us with lots of great interviews with industry professionals and podcasts with amazing people just like this. And if you are looking for reviews of our latest content, you can find that at screenfish.net, or you can follow us on Instagram at ScreenFish Online, as well as at TikTok at ScreenFish Online, and pretty well everywhere else at ScreenFish Online. For some reason, I made it that long. But yeah, this was great. Honestly, thank you both. And for you at home, yeah, this was, I love this episode, and I love having you guys on.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks very much.
We started, and for you at home, we started the conversation. This was ScreenFish.